What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with Divorce Sister Season 1, Episode 5, Breath of Fresh Air. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video that I drop. Y'all make sure we are liking the videos so I can stay in the algorithm of things, okay? Anyway, so yeah, the episode starts with Geneva. You know, her, Tiffany, and Javon are still at the police station. She's still pissed off with a pissy attitude. Like, girl, get over yourself. Like, when I tell y'all, Geneva been pissing me off, and I like Kadeem, okay? But Geneva is pissing me off, okay? So Tiffany asked Geneva, why didn't she tell him about Javon? Tiffany is asking, am I missing something? And Geneva is being very vague. Okay, her and Rashida have that really, really bad. So Geneva then says she only knew him for a few years. She tells her she don't know why he divorced his wife, and she only know him past the courtroom. And I was like, girl, why you sitting here lying? Anyway, I just don't understand why she won't tell Tiffany. And I think that's what's pissing me off even more. Anyway, Tiffany says, I will ask Rashida. And Geneva tells her Rashida don't know nothing about him. Well, Tiffany was like, well, the way she was looking at him, it seemed like she did. And so Geneva tells Tiffany to be careful with Javon and tell her to tread lightly. Again, you're being too vague. Just tell a girl. Anyway, Bridget in the next scene calls Tiffany, not in the next scene, but Bridget actually called Tiffany and checks on Naomi. At this point, it's 6 a.m. Everybody, they've all been at the police station all night. She tells them Rashida isn't answering her phone, and that Naomi video went viral with her throwing coffee on that lady. Anyway, Naomi gets out and says, they ripped my dress. And she's just like, stopped. She was like, I'm so tired. Are you, Naomi? Are you? Okay. So, Bridget is getting dressed for work. She goes in the room. She looks at Vaughn. He pretends to be asleep. She mumbles under her breath like, whoa, what am I doing? So he wakes up and says, what? She was like, nothing, just go back to bed. And he was like, I can't, but because you making too much noise. Nigga, that's my motherfucking house, and if I want to make noise, I can make all of it. When I tell y'all Bridget is a better woman than me. Anyway, he tells her to make that noise downstairs. So she tells him to get up. He asks for what? He tells her, for work, like, you need to get up and to find you a job. And he was like, I don't want to find no job. I don't want to work. This is messing with my mental health. Sir, you are the mental health. Okay? You are the mental patient. So at this point, Bridget just choosing to be a dumbass. Okay? Anyway, Calvin comes over to Bridget's house. He knocks on the door, rings the doorbell or whatever, and Vaughn was like, so you're not gonna go get that? Bridget goes downstairs, open the door, it's Calvin. Calvin wants to know if Vaughn had his key because he never turned it in when he quit. And so Calvin was like, this is ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? You need a grown man instead of this little boy. And so, Bridget, he wants to talk to Vaughn. Okay. Calvin, I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry. So, Calvin, goes up the stairs and they wake they wake Vaughn up, and he was like, what y'all want? And so Calvin was like, do you have my key? And he was like, I told you, like I told her, no, I don't have no key. And so Calvin was like, you a little ass boy. And so he get up and they get to tussling. And so at this point, I was just like, Calvin, why you let him beat you up? And Vaughn was like, this my house. And he was just getting angrier and angrier, and he was just getting even more violent, which means I feel like, Bridget, you really need to let him go. And so he was about to hit Calvin with this tray or whatever after he beat Calvin up. And so Bridget was was telling them to stop. She was trying to break up the fight. They pushed her down. And so it was just the violence that Vaughn had in his eyes. He was like, nigga, this is my house. No, this is not your house, sir. You have to get the fuck out of here. So we get over to Naomi's house. She's still mad about her dress. And Javon gets out the car, walks them to the door. He asks Tiffany on a date. Now, the whole time, Geneva should have been her ass in her green dress in Naomi's house consoling Naomi. But your nosy ass still standing out there like a damn hater, just looking stupid. Okay? So, Geneva's just standing there, just listening to Javon and Tiffany's conversation. And so Geneva tells Tiffany, we need your help in the house. Bitch, for what? Okay? I'm sorry, y'all. Geneva's pissing me off. Okay? So, I just don't like how Tiffany is allowing Geneva to handle her. Like, ma'am, I need you to clock in. You don't see when she have an attitude with you, don't. She been acting real stupid since this nigga been around. And she being vague. Okay? I need you to clock in. Anyway, Naomi is inside drinking. Baby, it is 7-something in the morning. Why the fuck are you drinking? You need to be getting your life and getting that shit all the way together. Okay? I get that you're mad. But this is at the detriment of you. Now you're just being a dumbass. Okay? I'm sorry. I get that we can't do something to somebody and tell them, how mad they're supposed to be. Shout out to Funky Dineva. But I'm saying all of that to say, you are allowing this man to take all of your energy, all of your spirit. This man is still dragging her, even though he's moved on and with somebody else. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, she's exhausting. She's exhausting. Her ex-husband is exhausted. I know that little white lady be exhausted. I just cannot. Okay. So, Bridget comes over. She met the girls there. She came over. She asked Naomi, hey, are you, I'm just want to check on it. Y'all know Bridget, is the nice one. And so she asked Naomi, hey, are you okay? And Naomi said, no. Why? That's a stupid, the way. And what pissed me off is when Bridget was about to say something to her, they shushed her and was like, no, fuck Naomi. Okay, I don't give a what she going through. That don't give you the license to talk to me crazy. Bitch, I'm just here to check on you. Okay? And if you want me to leave, I can do that. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, y'all. These little Tyler Perry women friendships, I don't be here for it. Okay? Anyway, Naomi tells the ladies, nobody love her like her grandmother. They tell her, they both tell her, they tell her we love you. Now, again, looking at Bridget's face, she hurt Bridget's feelings. So then they tell her that she went too far, and Bridget tells her that the pastor is a good man. Now, hold up, Bridget. I was here until you said that. No, he is not. You see it all the time. You see the look on your friend's face, and you know that her husband is not a good man. Anyway, Naomi said Franklin lied to her. Franklin. Franklin lied to her about the new lady. When he was messing with her, he kept lying to Naomi, saying she was just friends, knowing the whole time he was fucking her. So, She said Franklin took my best years. Bridget then tells her again, these are your best years. Like, he may have taken that, but he can't take, basically he can't take what's happening now. So Naomi tells Bridget, you don't know because you never been married or had anyone to care for you. She then proceeds to tell Bridget that you're taking care of Vaughn and he can't take care of you. No, she was like, you taking care of another nigga and you can't even take care of yourself. Y'all, that would have been it for me. I'm sorry. Naomi, it doesn't matter if you're mad. I don't give a who you mad at. Don't take that shit out on me. That's not my problem. That has a lot to do with you. Anyway, Naomi apologizes to Bridget and says, I'm not even mad at you. I'm mad at him. But you can still see Bridget's face and see she's visibly, that shit made her sad and it made her feel away. And so Naomi now wants to sue him. Geneva tells her that Tiffany was like, Geneva, you need to stop sugarcoating it and tell her. So Geneva tells Naomi, hey, listen, what you did was criminal and he could be pressing charges. So at this point, you need to lawyer up. You need to get you a criminal attorney and lawyer up. So everybody leaves. The ladies go to their house, go to work, get ready, for the next day. And Bridget, they leave Naomi at her house. So as the ladies are walking outside, Tiffany get a text from Javon. So she tells the ladies, oh, he texted me, just saying that he had a good time considering what everything that happened last night. Bridget is happy for her. Geneva, not so much. All right. So in the next scene, William goes to wake up Anika for school. When I tell y'all the scene with William and Anika was so cute to me, I don't know. But I possibly could have been wrong about William, but I'm still a little firm on my opinion of William. But I'm just gonna wait and see. William do seem like a good dude. He really do. So I'm going to give William that. He seemed like a good father and a good husband, and I'm going to give William that. I ain't even going to give him no hard time. I'm going to give his wife a hard time because she pissing me off, okay? So anyway, Javon calls William, checks on him. William asks, about, him and Tiffany. He tells William that they have a date tonight and that he asks, when I tell y'all Javon ain't shit, he tells William, why don't you and Geneva join us for dinner? And so, got a lot of stuff going on outside. But I'm glad William was like, no. Anyway, William notices that Geneva been acting strange lately. Javon tells William, that he is a good dude. And then William invites Javon to church and he agrees. So child, he gonna be at church Sunday. Anyway, Tiffany says to Bridget, because before the ladies got in the car, Naomi is still pissed. I'm sorry, not Naomi. Geneva is pissed off at Tiffany. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call it like I see it. You pissed off because she's now messing with Javon. That lady don't know that because you're still lying to your friend. Okay? So Geneva and Javon ain't shit either because you going along with the bullshit. Okay? So Geneva tells Bridget to drop Tiffany off. And she was like, well, aren't you going past the church? She was like, well, I have to make some calls on behalf of Geneva and it's private. Lying, of course. So Tiffany says to Bridget that Javon is a breath of fresh air. Bridget tells Tiffany that Calvin and Vaughn had a fight. And she noticed how angry and violent Vaughn got. And so Tiffany tells Bridget that Calvin is a boxer. And Bridget didn't know that. She was like, what? And she was like, Tiffany was like, trust me, if he wanted to hurt Vaughn, he would have. And if he didn't, that's because he didn't want to. So it's apparent that Kelvin would have beat the brakes off of Vaughn, but he just, he just didn't. And I think it was just because of Bridget. Anyway, Geneva walks in the house. William, makes her breakfast, and he tells her, you just get some rest because you've been up all night. So Kelly, which is Rashida's daughter, she's looking for her mom. And she asked her dad, hey, where's mom? She didn't sleep in her bed. She's not in the guest room. So he was like, I don't know. So she asked, are they getting a divorce? And he was like, no. She said, well, if you guys are divorcing, I want to stay with you. I was like, okay, little girl. And so he was like, no. She was like, she clocked her dad about always lying to her, telling her half truths and all of that. So he was like, well, I just need you to go get ready for school. Anyway, Hakeem. Oh, hold up. Because my baby just returned back to the screen, baby. Y'all wasn't gonna let my baby not come back to this screen. Okay, y'all know how I feel about Bolu. Okay? Alright. That's my boo. Okay, he is back on screen with some big booty lady laying under him. They was gonna give me that scene, but I was like, no, I don't really want to show my body like that. I ain't gym ready. Okay, so next season it'll be me laying all up on him. But I let him do it. I was like, go ahead, you can do it. I'm not tripping. So now I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I love that man. Anyway, Naomi called him and asked to be at his house in 20 minutes. He was like, I'll be there in an hour. Basically, Naomi wants him to unalive her ex-husband. And then she tells him, he was like, well, what happened to your apartment? To your house. And she told him, my ex-husband did all of this. And so now she was like, I want you to take him off the planet. And I'm just like, Naomi, at this point, you really need to gather yourself and get a grip. I really need to know how long these two been divorced. Again, I can't say how long a person should be mad. But the way Naomi is operating, she's operating off of anger all the time. She's operating in such an unhealthy way. She's drinking all the time. She's just not in a right space. And this is what happens when you put all of your all into a person. You act like that this one person becomes your world when you have a life outside of them. When it's sad. It's a sad thing to see, but I know that's how people do. People who are in love, they tether themselves into this person to the point that they neglect themselves. So whenever that person takes everything and sucks everything out of them, they take all of the years and all of that, and they just leave, you feel like, I don't have nothing. I'm not me without this person. And it's like you are you without this person. You just have to operate in a space where it's just you now, not you and this person. And at some point you have to be okay with it, but it takes time and it takes therapy and it takes a whole lot of steps, and even steps of grief. My therapist just told me that you can be in the acceptance phase, then a couple of days later something will trigger you. And when you get to the end of the grief stages, something will trigger you where you will go back to the beginning or the middle of the grief stages. And nobody tells you that. Nobody talks about that. I do think that Naomi is acting a lot out of her emotions. And it's not going to do anything but make everything worse, because everything she wants to do is very volatile. Everything she wants to do is very unhealthy. And I hate that for her. I hate that for her. I just experienced something, and no matter what happened, I had to choose to walk away from a situation. But I had to walk away from that situation, not just, but it's been a little while, but I had to walk away from the situation, not hating the person, not being angry, choosing to walk away without allowing people to say bad things. I don't speak negatively of the person. Like, you choose to walk away in a healthy space, and that means you have to change your mindset. You have to change all of that. Like, I don't know who that was for, but I just wanted to give y'all that for free. Okay? Just make a choice whenever you have to part away from a friendship or a relationship or a family member. You choose to walk away in the most healthy way. Know what you did. You felt like you was doing it, that it was conducive for you and your mental health, and you take that time and you choose to be healthy. You choose to take healthy steps and different options, whatever that looked like to you. You'll be able, I don't know, it's just the way the peace will suddenly come upon you. But there's still hurt, there's still pain, there's still gonna be tears, it's still gonna be a lot of that. But you have to allow yourself to feel the feels, and don't self-medicate or get under somebody else or drink, or like, those are the, and I can't tell anybody what to do, but the pain is still gonna always be there. I just want you, if this is you, just choose to be healthy. Just choose a more healthier route. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Anyway, the next scene. The kids come out the door to find their mom. We still see Rashida sitting in the car. So I don't know if the lady slept or she did not. Okay. And they're really concerned about her, but she's so off-putting to them. They have been so used to being mean to these damn children that she was like, just go get on the bus. And I just would have looked at her mom like, first of all, mother clucker, okay? I wouldn't have called my mama a mother clucker, but I would have called my mama a mother clucker, okay? Because I'm here to check on your dumb ass. Why you sitting out here in the car with that same outfit you had on last night? Okay? We checking on you, and you fussing at me about going to get on the bus, girl. You and that bus. And that man in there. I'm sorry, y'all. So Rashida decides to be vague and rude to them, of course. And so their bus comes. She tells them to go get on the bus. All right. So Geneva, you're steady trying to find something on William, because your ass been out there sneaking, creeping, and doing all the things at the time. So you think William out there doing something. So she pulled up, not up, but she pulled, I guess, out in a way where you couldn't see her, and she see William get this lady, look like 3 flowers he picked from somebody garden. He gave it to the lady, and William gave her a hug. And so to me, it didn't look like nothing, but I also looked at her pants, because y'all know the janitor said the lady always have on yoga pants. But to me, it didn't look like anything. Anyway, Pastor Jeff then comes out of the house. He sees Rashida in a car, and she tells him, like, you didn't open the door for me. And last night, she tells her, like, you didn't open the door for me. And so he was like, Rashida, you're being childish. Like, it's just a door. It's just a door. Just press the button and flips up. It's just a door. And she was like, it's not just a door to me. So I don't know if Pastor Jeff have always opened the door for her, and this time he chose not to. So he tells her it's just a door, as I stated. And she said it's not just a door. She tells him he was looking around because she was getting loud. So she was like, you're concerned about everything and everybody but me. You're concerned about what people think. You're concerned about how you look. And she was like, you don't love me, you don't care for me, you don't value me. She didn't say all of those things, but she was saying all of those things, okay? And so his phone starts to ring. So he just, as she's talking, he pulls the phone out. She grabs the phone, put it on speaker, and the first thing she hears is Myra's voice, and he says, babe, are you in the car, babe? Can you talk? Okay, so the people did say that they thought, I didn't think it. I didn't think that him and Myron had a thing going on until something was happening last week. But what I thought last week was, I thought that in the last episode, I thought that Myron liked him, but he didn't like Myron like that. Like, because I just screw with young girls. So I was like, oh. Child. And then that wasn't the other time, because y'all know early on in this episode, he was on the phone, he was on speakerphone, and you heard Myron call him babe again. But I didn't write that down. I should have, because it was probably more important. And so I was like, oh. And he tells Rashida, after Myron said what he said, he tells Rashida, no. And and then it went off. Well, why y'all got my girl compete with a Tyler? Y'all got my girl compete with a man. Like, she probably be like, I could compete with any woman, but when it comes to a man, baby, I can't compete with that. Okay? I don't know what to say. Child. All right, y'all. Listen, I am very flabbergasted by all of this. Okay, this show for me is getting really good. I really like the show. I like a lot of the shows on BET Plus. They are really good, y'all. Anyway, I will see y'all. I think the next time I'm gonna see y'all is probably maybe tomorrow for some more Moesha videos. Tomorrow and maybe Monday, so I can wrap up Moesha. But yeah, yep, that's it. That's all, y'all. Bye.